Hi again, Ed Bates from Kilworth Chiropractic with yet another short video in our series about stress. Now, in this video, I want to continue our discussion as to what you can do to help you cope, manage, and adapt better to whatever stress you face. And ultimately, the key to perfect health is exactly just that. It is adaptation. The better your body adapts to the stresses you face, the healthier you are. So what makes your body adapt? Well, the reality is we don't truly know. But if I cut the arm of a living person, the likelihood is that that cut will heal within a short period of time. Whereas if I cut the arm of a dead person, that cut will never heal. Why? Because the dead person is missing something. In other words, there's some power or force within you that heals and keeps you alive. Now, some people call this force energy. Others call it innate intelligence, others universal intelligence, others life force, some may even call it God or nature. But regardless of the name, there is a power that keeps you alive. Now, our understanding of this force or power is that it's transmitted through your brain and nervous system. Now, in the early 1930s, a chiropractor called Thurman Fleet determined that we are electrical beings. And like a battery, we have a positive pole, the brain, and a negative pole, the spinal cord. Now, he also determined that there are 6 systems in the body, or what he called zones, that control every cell, every organ, and every tissue in the body. And there are specific areas in the brain that control each of these 6 systems. When the brain is sending the correct signal or information to each system, they will function properly, and as a result, the body will be healthy. However, if the brain sends the wrong signal, these systems will not function properly, and you will be less than healthy. As a chiropractor of nearly 30 years who specializes in the zone technique, my job is simply to find out which of these 6 systems or zones are not functioning properly and to bring them back to health. So what are these 6 systems or zones? Well, the first system is the glandular system. So there's an area in your brain that controls your entire glandular system. In other words, things like your thyroid gland, your adrenals, and your pancreas, and so on. This system has been called the body's balance wheels, since every organ and function of the body is directly influenced by the glands. The second system or zone is the elimination zone, which controls how your body eliminates toxins. So it controls organs such as your kidneys, your sinuses, your skin, intestines, bladder, lungs, and so on. The third zone is the nervous system or nervous zone, which is regarded as the master controller. It includes the entire nervous system, namely the brain, the spinal cord, and the peripheral nerves. The fourth system is the digestive system, which controls the assimilation or the breakdown of your food. The fifth system is the muscular zone, which controls how your body moves. And the sixth and final zone is the circulatory system, which controls the flow of fluids around the body, including the blood and the lymphatics. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when these 6 systems are working correctly, you will be healthy. However, any disease, any condition, ache or pain that you are experiencing can be attributed to or associated with a disturbance in one or more of these health zones. For example, if you're suffering from constipation, that could indicate a disturbance to your elimination system. High blood pressure could indicate a circulatory disturbance. Poor sleep may be associated with a disturbance in either the glandular or indeed the nervous system. Stiffness or pain or on movement could indicate a disturbance in the muscular system, and some digestive upset would indicate a disturbance in your digestive system. In other words, every function can be linked with one or more of the systems, and since there are only 6 systems in the body, there are literally only 6 things that you can do to the body. Now, again, it's my job as a chiropractor who practices the zone technique to determine which zone or system is out of balance, and by gently stimulating specific areas of the spine, stimulate the spinal cord and help rebalance or reset each zone. And when your brain is communicating properly with every cell, organ, and tissue, you will be healthy. Now, it's important to remember that your body is changing at 1,000,000 cells per second, but the important thing to always ask is whether they are changing towards disease or towards health. And a balanced brain and body will move towards health. Hope that was interesting, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.